All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the AI Makers Guild. Um, I've got notes just because I don't do this professionally. I might need a reminder, but let's go through this. So look, there are a lot of people touting the amazing AI, and there's a lot of companies investing way too much money in it. Not because it isn't good, but because they're being sloppy. But the fact of the matter is, everyone, even you, I don't care what your technical background is, if you can use a web browser, you can build AI tools. And I don't just mean chat GPT like tools. What I mean is anything that might be useful to you, you can have AI help you build it. So we're starting a new community, the AI Makers Guild. Learn, build, laugh. GPU optional. You don't have to spend $2,000 or $1,000,000 or whatever for a data center level computer. You don't. Even your laptop at home, quite frankly, especially if it's a brand new Macintosh, can work wonders. And even if you don't have an advanced GPU, even if you don't have a GPU at all of this will work. Sometimes it'll be a little slower, but it will all work. GPU optional. It's a bonus, it's a benefit, but it's not required. Everything we build here will be fun, it'll be simple, and it'll be fast. You should be able to finish what we go through here within 1 to 2 hours, a lunch break, maybe a cocktail break, but either way, it shouldn't take you long. So, who am I? That's not my picture. I guess I should have taken a minute. This is AI, right? I generated this, but wasn't paying attention. I hope you can see me. I'm a little better looking than that guy. But who am I? Well, I'm an IT geek. I'm autistic. I have ADHD. I'm a single father, grandfather of two, and I'm a geek. So, what does that mean? Whoops. Sorry. Here we go. So here's a little more, formal background. I've been a software engineer since the 1990s. Started out in networking. I was a webmaster back when that was a thing. Learned Java, became a Java lead, and then I learned AI tools before they were cool. So I've been doing AI in a fashion, not some of the fancy new stuff, but in a meaningful sense for 20 years. In those 20 years, what I've done is worked as a system designer and business architect for the most part. So I help companies define technical requirements to meet business needs. So if you've worked in industry and ever, been on one or other side of that table, it's two groups talking Spanish. Well, not Spanish. Uh, Mothalsian aliens speak to each other. They don't understand each other. So my job has been talk to the business, understand what they're trying to do in terms of business goals. I want to reduce my headcount by X. I want to improve our call rate by Y. I want to save Z on licensing costs. Tell it to me in terms of ROI, and then I'll talk to the computer people and tell it to them in terms of CPUs and Python and C++ and mainframes and whatever else it may be. It's my job to act as the translator. But for budgetary reasons, and that's a long conversation there, most of the time I didn't have a set system designer. So I got to do that work too. My last client was the state of Florida, completely re engineered their unemployment insurance system, fully replaced it in about a year. Now I work in AI. I'm the head of AI solutions at a firm called State Logic. My official title is VP of Solutions. And, it basically is recognition that I'm a lifelong tinkerer with curiosity, caffeine, and a virtual soldering iron, sometimes called Python. So look, you can do this stuff. You don't need a supercube computer. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need to pay anything as long as you have access to the web. And that doesn't even have to be your own computer. Libraries, other places have free access. So this is something you can do. No excuses. We'll take it step by step, a day at a time. We'll take you from using free online tools, simple methodologies, simple approaches, to your own, to being basically the equivalent of a professional developer. Especially in today's world where AI runs everything. The main thing you've got to remember is the engineering adage that I live by. K.I.S.S. Keep it simple. Well, let me try that again. Keep it simple. Sally. Stupid. Pick your last S. Shithead. But seriously, if it doesn't fall within that adage, I look at what I'm doing and take a step back and say, this has to be simpler. I'm doing it the wrong way. So welcome to the lab. Who is this for? This is for builders of software. So not just tools, not just games, and not just life improvement systems, but honestly, you can build production quality, sellable software if you learn from me. Or learn from anywhere, but I'll show you how to do it. I will be building commercial software on this channel from time to time. I'm really interested in helping the autism and ADHD community. I see you. I am you. Anyone who's interested in a computer or electronics or build a game, geek hobbying, but it's just overwhelmed. AI, oh, ChatGPT, what the fuck? No. Let me help you cut through the noise. It's not that hard, but it is noisy. And I can help you sharpen that focus. Junior makers, maybe writers or artists or musicians or, anything else. Maybe you really like Five Nights at Freddy's and want to build your own podcast or your own video service. Well, can AI help you there? Yes. But you have to be concerned about the concept of AI slop. I can show you how to utilize AI to help you, to accelerate you, and quite frankly, to automate a large percentage of the work required for all this without it sounding like AI. It's not that hard. And finally, are you a developer, professional software maker who really doesn't know how to use AI effectively? Are you still at the stage of saying, hey, ChatGPT, write me Python to blah, blah, and basically getting one little code snippet out, putting that in your code and saying, well, I'm done for the day? No, you are missing out. Huge opportunities here. And if you don't learn how to do what I'm going to teach you, you're going to get left behind. I can't emphasize that more strongly. And I don't care where you are. China, India, America, Russia, Israel, Canada. You don't know how to do this, you're going to be out of a job. If you learn how to do this properly, you're going to rise in the ranks. It's that simple. So, what's our first project? We're going to start simple. We're going to create an object identification system that uses AI, that takes only a few dozen lines of code and doesn't require you specifically to write a single line of code, runs fully online, and we can get it up and running in an hour or less. And it's a foundation for the next step. So I'm going to show you today how to do static object detection. So upload a picture and say, identify this is a cat, this is a bicycle, this is a can of beer. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to make it go through your web camera securely, safely, and identify things in real time. So you go from static to real time using real hardware you have available today in one day. So, what does success look like for this first project? Upload an image. Identify what's in that image. Put a box around it, give it confidence scores, and label it cat, cup, TV, whatever. And graceful error handling. And that's important. That's something that even professional developers forget far too often. If the system fails, it shouldn't look like it just puked on your screen. It should tell you why in plain language with simple terms. So we'll get that started in a minute. What I want to tell you about is simply what creating software looks like in this AI age. So essentially, current software engineers are far less coders and far more likely to be product owners or business architects. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pause just for a minute. I got a timer going off that I forgot about. So give me one sec. I will be right back. Where is pause? Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, let's stop streaming and I'll be right back. Oh, nope, it says I can't do that. So instead, you can look at this slide while I go take care of that. Aren't you happy? So professional. All right, I'm back. So, creating software today is far more like being a BA or a product owner, business architect, business analyst. Pick your terminology because nobody can settle on anything. But you're less writing code and you're more building user stories. Those user stories nowadays are called prompts. They're written a little differently than, say, a professional BA would write a user story in a human software department. But it's the same concept. Then you write acceptance criteria. So basically, for each piece of functionality, you say, create a login screen for my new application. Acceptance criteria is I can log in. It's the login information is written to an encrypted database. It's bad login information throws up a try again. Dun, 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 dun. So software engineering today is less about writing the software and it's more about sitting down and thinking through what are most of the things you want the software to do and lay that out. You design systems. So system thinking is critical. But the AI writes all the code. And it's better to write small prompts than big prompts. It's better to iterate, to take things one step at a time. Ask the AI, does that work? Did you test it? Can I see it? Okay, great. Now let's do the next step. As opposed to saying, here's everything. Or even worse, a basic prompt. Build me a game. It's got spaceships. No, 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 no. You've got to be more specific than that. You're still working with a computer. At the end of the day, AI does not change that fact. Yes, it will fill in the blanks, but you'll 9 times out of 10 not like what it fills it in with. Um, and then finally, you know what? When stuff blows up, breaks, you need to debug it. That's fine. It's 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 an old adage in software. You know, uh, break early, fix now. And the idea of that is the longer it takes to detect a broken system, the more expensive it is to fix it. That's that's double here. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to do one small step at a time. We're going to tell the system, write this using testing uh, uh, design principles, basically test driven development. So the system is instructed for every chunk of functionality you write, you must also write a full regression test suite. You must also write full documentation. And before you tell me it's ready to run, you must have tested it and seen that it works properly. Now, this doesn't eliminate your need to think about this kind of stuff. It's not going to think about every test in the world. But the flip side is, as you learn, as you develop maturity in working with this, you'll know what to ask it to do next. It's like anything. Experience will be your guide. Next step is just make it work, make it pass the test. For the stuff we're building in these early episodes, that's all that matters. Later on, we'll learn how to make it pretty. We'll learn how to really design it properly. And then finally, you go, okay, great. That's step one. Now let's add step two and go through the same cycle again and again and again until you get the final thing. Now, that sounds tedious. Oh my God, cycles and again and again and again. No, it's super fast with AI, but that's the mindset you have to have. So let's build the system. And I'll tell you what, I am going to do this with you in real time. I have not attempted this before. I have reason to believe it'll work. So I'm not an idiot, but I haven't actually done it yet. So let's try it together. So let me throw that down. And so today we're going to use a tool called Colab. So this is the URL. Um, I will put links and other relevant things in what I like to call the doobly doo. I stole that from the Science Asylum website, um, but and definitely check them out. But basically down in either the pinned comment or the description of the video, I'll add any necessary links. So first things first, go to Colab. Now, if you have any type of Google account, Gmail, YouTube, so on and so forth, then you can log in with that. If not, you will need to create a Google account. I can't get away from that. And what I'm going to do today, ignore all this other stuff. I'm just going to say, give me a new notebook. Nothing fancy. Now, first things first. We go right down here, comes right up, and we give it a prompt. So we're going to start with using test-driven development methodology, fully documenting with comments. We want a basic system that runs in Colab notebooks that can accept an image upload and perform basic computer vision object identification. Now I'm using fancy words here. You could have just said, upload an image and have the computer tell me what's in the picture. That's fine. It doesn't need these fancy words. What does matter, test-driven development, fully documented with comments. The rest of this you can write however you want, but the top of this you want as part of your thing. And the other thing I'm going to do today, once we finish this, is I have a long prompt template that I have built that I use for professional software development that includes all of this plus other important things. And so you may want to grab that and read through it, see how, how it's done in a commercial environment. And you can take it. You can take it to ChatGPT and say, hey, explain this to me. Teach me these concepts. Build a lesson plan around this. Point me at videos for this. You can stay as shallow or as deep as you want. At the end of the day, you're going to learn everything here. But if it triggers something and you're like, oh, that's really cool, I want to understand more, you'll have it right there. So here we go. All right. And so it starts with the stupid compliment. LLMs are too complimentary. That's one thing I will fix in my home LLM. But it says, okay, here's what I want to do. I want to install the computer vision libraries and testing libraries. Okay, makes sense. I want to write out what the initial test cases need to be to perform these things. And so in test-driven development, you write the tests first. It's identical to the concept of acceptance criteria. Essentially, before the term acceptance criteria existed, we had the term test-driven development. It's the same thing. We're just saying, write out the acceptance criteria and go ahead and code it into tests. Let's not waste any time. Then implement the code, implement image uploading, implement image object identification, refine it, test it, document it, and say I'm done. And so you could do run step by step, and that kind of lets you follow along. I'm lazy. And as long as I have a reasonable assumption that this is going to work relatively quickly out of the box, I'll run the whole thing. If it's something really complicated, something I don't understand, something that may need a lot of tweaking, or my explanation was very generic, I might run it step by step. That way, in between steps, I can say, oh, you know what? We need to adjust. Go this way. Go that way. Extra tests. You know what? Let's run this on a supercomputer instead of in Colab. Whatever I want to do. So here we go. All right, and it's working. It's this is a Python command to say install some necessary libraries. While that's running, I want to show you all something. So this is a Raspberry Pi 5. I think it's an 8 gigabyte. No, this is a 4 gigabyte model. Still pretty powerful. Yes, it's based on sort of phone CPUs, but it's spicy. It's not bad for the price. And what I'm going to show you in a future session soon is how to use this or a used older version of it to do things like create a media server on your TV that will let you play Xbox games without a console perfectly legally. NVIDIA Now games without a console. Alexa Luna games, which you don't need a console for that, but still. And a media server that would stream movies that you happen to have downloads of or could rip the DVDs or Blu-rays of. But even more. Like, it gets way fancier than that. But just a basic media server and gaming console that lets you play multiple gaming ecosystems for roughly $100. If you get lucky on eBay, $25 to $50. You know. Oh, I forgot the big thing. Also, I'm going to show you how using one of these to set up your TV streaming to bypass the NFL's stupid ass region locking. I will show you how to watch games that even if you paid for the NFL season pass at like for YouTube like almost $300 a year, and yet you can watch like a tenth of the games. Nah, bro. I don't even like sports, but I think that's bullshit. I'm going to show you how to get around that for potentially as low as $50. And you'll be set for basically life. So let's see where we are. All right. So it's implemented the logic. Here's all this. It's implemented image loading. Boom. Now it's testing. So what is it doing? Okay. It's tested. It's refined. Okay. It's still refining. Ah, yeah. No test ran. Okay. I'm going to keep trying. So this is all okay. It's a bit heavy in terms of how much it's writing out to us. When we get to some of the more advanced techniques, it won't be this heavy. But let's scroll down to the bottom and see what's going on because it may be locked. Yeah, it keeps saying no test run, no test run. No, it's figuring it out. Yep, there we go. Now it's tested and it's got passing tests. So it's doing a little bit further refinement. And again, once we get to some of the slightly more professional tools, which even those I can get you free, there are numerous ones that are free. So here we go. It's writing out the code and making sure it's well documented. Yep. And it's finished. And I'll tell you what, because there's a whole lot. Oh, see, here we go. Insights are next steps. So it used a face identifier, which is not what I want. I should have, and we learn, right? Um, let's see. Let's change it to use YOLO. I did a slight amount of research before this. And let's say consolidate the code and documentation / tests. Clean up the notebook. Let's see if it can do that. Let's see what it says to that. Okay, I understand. You want to use YOLO instead of higher cascades, and also clean up the notebook. So I'll install YOLO, set up the tests, make sure everything is working, refine and test, then clean up the notebook, document it, and finish. Here we go. So it's saying most of this stuff's already there, but I do like it to be thorough. As we move forward into using more professional tools, we'll actually have it do things for us like write install scripts, write setup scripts, write start and stop scripts, right? Run all my test scripts so that you really have everything you need to understand what's happening to be able to move this from, you know what, I developed Colab, but now I want to run it on my laptop. I developed it on a Macintosh. Now I want to run it on my Raspberry Pi server, right? You'll have all that. And so you see, it's smart enough. Not only is it defining tests, but it's running them. And it's running them again and again and again. So you get documented tests, and the system doesn't stop writing code until all of the tests it could think of passed. And that seems trivial, but you know what? That's not how most software developers approach this nowadays, which is unfortunate. They're wasting a lot of time and a lot of cycles, working at way too slow a speed. Hint, hint for some folks who should be watching this. Um, when they could literally pass in full systems or full subsystems and say, architect this professionally, make it modular, build it using test-driven development. Don't give it to me until it's fully tested and documented. And it adds zero time to their actual effort and builds fully working professional grade subsystems in minutes instead of days. I have to admit, I do like the workflow a lot better in some of the more professional tools than Google Colab. And I think one thing I may do between sessions is try and um, streamline this a little bit. But it's good. It works. It is giving you good code, but we're learning together. I don't use Colab that much, so this is something I'll learn from and go back to the AI and say, "Hey, this is a pain. How do we approach it differently?" And maybe I'll save that for next time. I don't know. I don't want to do it today. I think if we can get through, test this, show it works, uh, then we'll have done enough for today. And I hope you see how you could make this more generic, right? You could ask either Gemini or you could go to ChatGPT and you could ask it, hey, I could really use something that does X. How would we approach that? And I usually tell it, don't give me code, give me ideas. And then you work through that. And then at the end of that, you can say to it, okay, great. Now, using test-driven development, modular architecture, you're a professional software engineer level of effort. Give me a prompt, including all that, including what we discussed, that I can put into Colab and have it build me this system we discussed. All right, so looks like, not finished yet. It's still got to clean up the notebook. So give it a couple minutes, a minute, and then we'll look at it again. Oh, all right. So it says it's done. Let's look. I see. So it didn't really clean up the whole notebook. That's not a complete surprise. But what it did, here we go. Well, yeah, it didn't finish it. So it can't do that. It can't clean up the notebook for us. I wish. That's something we can come back to. But for now, in theory, this last block of code, ignore everything else above, this last block of code should do exactly what we asked for. Well, let's see. What did it do? Oh, it's overwriting something. No. Well, okay. So let's do it this way then. Write one cell, code cell, documentation, code and documentation cell that can execute the workflow / process we discussed, i.e. image upload and ID, object ID, generate image with object identification in the Let's see if it can do that for us. And again, this isn't as clean as I would make it if I were a professional at YouTube. I would edit this and make it pretty, and maybe I'll do that after the fact. But for now, for today, I'm showing you the dirty guts of how I work, especially, quote, in a new tool. So I'm learning with you, but showing you how to approach these kinds of problems. So we'll give this just a minute. It should be pretty quick. It's not going to take too much longer because it has all the answers above. It just needs to consolidate them into this one cell. Let's see what's it doing. Well, it says it's done. It is. It's waiting for us to give it a file. Okay, well, I didn't get that far. Let's go to image Google Images, right? And let's see a picture of a okay, I got it. Yard with Halloween decorations. I mean, if anything's going to be difficult for it to identify, this may in fact be it, because this is asking a lot. So let's pick something that's not too crazy. This one's okay. It's got a ghost, a house, a skeleton, a cross, a few odds and ends. It should be good enough. So I'm going to just save this image locally so I have it to work from. And let's go back, and it's asking us to give it an image to upload. So here's my outdoor Halloween image. It's uploading it. Boom, boom, boom. Saved it. It figured it out. Oh, it got it wrong. It thinks these are oranges. It didn't identify anything else. Well, okay. Learn, learn, learn. Let's go back. Let's try this again. Let me see here. I'm just gonna, nope. There we go. Okay, that didn't work. Whoops. Well, let me rephrase that. It did work, but the model I used was very simple, and was very simple, and it does fancy things, but this was probably too much. So let's see. Dog, cat, car, motorcycle. Let's see what it does for us. Oh, not that. But yeah, here we go. These aren't bad. Lots and lots of options here. I kind of like this one. It's pretty clear. I don't like those. Let's grab this one. Except for the stupid watermark, which, don't get me wrong, artists and photographers should be paid. No question. But this should be fine for our purposes. So let's rerun this. It wants a new file. Let's try the new file. And let's see, can it figure it out? Wow, that's fast. So here, there we go. That's what I was looking for. That's a motorcycle. That's a dog. These are people. Da, 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 da. Right? Pretty simple. And quite frankly, except for the AI code assistant taking 1 minute longer than I expected, fast. So I'll set myself the task of cleaning this up so that you guys don't have to worry about all the extra junk in its trunk. And by tomorrow, um, I'll post updates, and then over the next couple days, I'll probably edit this video so that folks coming to the channel who didn't get to watch live um, can have a cleaner experience. But either way, thank you so much for joining. Let's go through my um, canned outro. Please join the guild so you can learn, build, and laugh. GPU optional. Every project is short enough to finish in a lunch break. These are real tools for real makers. Even what we did today takes that much more effort to turn into something that can do things like run on an assembly line looking for bad fruit, right? What we just did, is exactly how you would build that tool today and is as powerful as tools you might have built 5 or 10 years ago. Yes, that sounds like a long time. It's not. And it would take, again, that much, I don't know, not much, to bring it up to a standard where you could use it to watch for weevils in your garden. It would take extremely little effort to do something like put a camera in your kitchen pointed at your trash can to detect how full it is and to send a text to your teenager to say, hey, it's time to take the damn trash out, right? Like what we built today could be scaffolded upon in minutes to do anything you could think of that computer vision could enable, that letting the computer do things like watch out for a particular car in front of your house because, I don't know, they keep throwing rocks at your windows. I've had to deal with that before. I mean, all these things. And you could get extremely sophisticated with it. But at the end of the day, this is a community. We're all learning. You saw me learning in real time. We're all building. And hey, sometimes I even laugh. Um, as we keep going, I'll build up tools and repositories and repositories. Oh my Lord, that sounds horrible. Documentation. And I'm going to start a Discord channel. Like that's all coming. We are going to rock this joint. So I'll see you next time. And hey, remember, when AI gives you lemons, squirt it in its eyes, cuss at it, and try again. Laugh. Because quite frankly, therapy is expensive. And coffee is recommended, but beer is permitted. Might take you a minute longer, though. So if you're ready, come check me out at AIMakersGuild.com. Right now, that's just a placeholder page, but I will be adding content in the near future. I'll also be adding blogs to Substack and beyond. And let's have some fun together. Thank you so much. Bye now.